Okay, my friends. Oh, take a deep breath with me on this one because this chapter can be triggering, especially for high achievers, because relationships are often the one area where we feel the least in control. And let's be honest, we love control. But when it comes to other people, we feel exposed, vulnerable, and sometimes a little reactive. So, this chapter is a shift. We are moving away from relationship and towards partnership. And this shift really just changed so much for me in the way that I'm experiencing my relating to other people. Now, we have been raised to think in terms of relationship. And relationship is about relating. How am I relating to you? How are you relating to me? What are you doing? What am I doing? And really, it becomes an analysis. It becomes a story, which then becomes our history. It becomes emotional reaction layered on top of emotional reaction. And before you know it, you are ducking and diving. Not a pleasant experience for the most part. Partnership, on the other hand, is really different. Partnership asks, what experience are we here to co create? Who do I choose to be with in this exchange? And how do I bring life, play, clarity, and sovereignty into this moment? Now, these questions alone can move you from reaction into creation, from victim to artist, from chaos into self leadership. So, when we start looking at this and we start really feeling into the difference between relationships and partnerships, we feel that partnership is sovereignty in motion. Now, partnership begins as everything with identity. It is not something that you do, it is who you are being in the presence of others and how you are then partnering with those. The highest expression of partnership feels playful, it feels alive. And I have found for myself, it's almost childlike in its joy. Where everything is just pure again and everything just feels so light and curious. That for me is partnership. So when I think of partnership, there is definitely trust. There is a lightness in my communication and in my approach with others. There is spaciousness, right? There's enough space for me, for you, for us. There's not gripping, there's no bracing. It's more like you are dancing with life with a capital L itself. So when you walk into a room with partnership consciousness, you understand something very, very powerful. And that is that your presence shapes the experience. Like your energy co creates the field. You set the tone, darling, and everybody else, like a tuning fork, calibrates to you. So you partner with your romantic partner in what it is that you're co creating. You partner with your children in what you guys are co creating in this life as an experience. You partner with your clients. Man, you even partner with the person at the checkout. And I was reading a book, I think it was Mama Gina's Womanly Arts. Um, and she was having you play this game where you had to flirt with the person at the checkout and not sexually flirt, like flirtation in the way when a woman feels really certain in herself and she fully embodies herself. And so there's a lightness in everything that she does. And I just had the most delightful experiences every single time when I went to the checkout. In fact, there was this once where it was a shop where you actually pack your own groceries. And this guy that works in the shop came and started checking out my groceries for me, packing it into bags, and then offered to carry it out to my car. I mean, what a delicious partnership that was. And I started realizing that really the only thing that was different was the energy in with which I approached the checkout counter. So when we really start deepening our understanding and our embodiment of partnership, we understand that we partner with money, we partner with our bodies, we partner with God in the co creation of this, we partner with the universe itself. So, partner doesn't just become a concept anymore. Partnership becomes a posture, a way of breathing, a way of speaking. And yes, it does get to be delicious. Now, as I was preparing this, I really had to think of when I'm not in partnership, when I'm in relationship, and I feel a little vulnerable. What is my go to? And I think that you might relate to this one because that is the Ice Maiden. And let's just be honest here. This is a mirror that no woman loves holding up. I know I definitely didn't. But when partnership or when relationships becomes heavy, many women withdraw. And this is why the Ice Maiden persona is universal. Um, the Ice Maiden is cool. She is controlled. She is guarded. She is very polite, but distant. She believes safety lives in emotional distance. So she does play it cool. She retreats inward. She protects herself. And there's no shame in her. Like she really served you beautifully. I know that she definitely served me greatly. But now we are choosing something more alive, ladies. So, partnership requires presence, it requires warmth, and it requires a softer strength, which is really when we become more flexible and we have the beautiful boundaries of the protector. So, the moment that you feel withdrawal rising in your body, you have a choice to make. You can absolutely let it play out as ice, ice, baby. Da, 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 da. Or you can shift into intentional artistry. And then you can choose playful presence instead of protective distance. And I'm going to say this as well. This is practice, compassionate practice. This is embodiment, and this is true self leadership. So, when you start practicing the warmth and the presence of the artist, the first thing you need to start noticing in an honest way with yourself is when you start moving into the Ice Maiden, so that you can then shift yourself out of that intentionally and consciously. Now, in my previous marriage, I used Byron Katie's inquiry process called The Work. And it was very, very transformative. She wrote a brilliant book about it as well. This is a process that I used with clients over the years, and it really is very effective. At its core, it's all about radical self responsibility. And what happens is that you will take a situation in which you related to another person and there was something that happened, and you make up a story in your mind that explains the behavior, the occurrence. And so through the work, you ask 4 questions. One, is it true? Is the story that I'm telling myself about what's happening, is it true? And in the most times you will say, yes, of course it is, because that is what I've just witnessed. That's what I've just experienced. But then you go, can I absolutely know it's true without a shadow of a doubt? And the intention behind this is that you remove yourself out of the story and you take a more global look. And this is when we start understanding that our experience of people are influenced by our experience of ourselves and the meaning that we give things. But it doesn't mean that it was their intention. So, can I absolutely know it's true? Most of the time, quite frankly, if you're really honest with yourself, the answer here would be no. So then you do further inquiry. How do I react when I believe this thought? And who would I be without this thought? So, this is a really powerful process with regards to self responsibility in your relationships. And then there is a turnaround as well as part of a process. And what this does is profound. It shifts you from it's happening to me to what story am I telling myself about what's happening? And really, all this is about is restoring sovereignty, restoring your power and your freedom and your self responsibility. So, it does not remove discernment, it removes the unconscious victimhood. And that changes everything in partnership. Because even through doing this, you start realizing that you are partnering in a dance with another person. And quite frankly, honey, if the dance sucks, if you're constantly stepping on each other's toes, then the only thing that you can do is to take responsibility for yourself and the story that you are telling yourself. And then also, how do you want to start creating the partnership instead? And for me, with my ex husband, my how I desired to have my partnership with him was as a friend, not as a spouse. And so that is the partnership that we now have. Everything's a choice. So by now you're seeing that partnership is not limited to romance. It is how you partner with money in creation. It is how you partner with your business in expression. It is how you partner with your body in devotion. It's how you partner in God with expansion. So when you shift from control into creative co creation, you are going to find that life just becomes so much lighter because it's not just you and it's not just up to you. That is the old high achiever frequency. So instead, when we shift into the artist and when we start shift into partnering intentionally with everything in life, from food to soap to hairstyles to what you express when you express it through your words, you stop forcing and you start shaping. You start artistically creating experience through your chosen identity. And this is where everything in this program starts weaving together. And I'm really hoping that by now you are actually seeing how everything is connected and all the little strands are starting to form a beautiful tapestry for you of what your life creation is at the moment and why it is that way. Which consciousness are you operating from that you're having this experience? And I said this before, and I'm going to continue saying this because this is the greatest wisdom that I can share with you. Everything in life is about the experience. But we have been conditioned to forget that we get to determine how we experience things. We don't always get to determine what the experience looks like, but we get to determine how we experience it. So I would highly recommend that you go and sit and meditate on this or journal on this. Like, how am I experiencing all of these areas of my life? And if I partner instead, how does my experience change? So here is your integration. For 7 days, ask one question in every interaction. What are we here to create together? Now, you can either ask that to the other person, or you get to just ask that for yourself silently. What are we here to create together? Because if there is no intentional creation in the people that you're partnering with, then you need to start questioning your partnerships. And when you start asking these questions, ask about it with your partner, with your child, with your client, with a stranger at the checkout, with the universe. And then watch what happens. Watch how your tone softens. Watch how your body relaxes. Watch how quickly you start moving from reaction into creative leadership. I also want you to remember that partnership is not something that you are waiting for. Like, it is something you embody. And when you embody it, life responds. So my invitation to you is to start becoming super present in your partnerships and to start intentionally co-creating your experience, your desired experience in everything. Lift your standards for yourself. Use more discernment and stop settling for crummy partnerships. Stop it. Like, stop settling for people draining you. Become unavailable for energy vampires. Your life is too precious. And I think it was Oprah who once said that it is your responsibility to partner with the best people for your life experience. It is your responsibility. So choose your partner wisely. Choose your food wisely. Choose your clients wisely to have the best possible experience for me, for you, for us. Have fun with this, and I'll see you on the embodiment call.